Went from being head over heels for this guy, to repulsed in a heartbeat. So I, F28, started talking to a guy, 32, about 6 months ago. We hit it off really well. Last week he told me that his best relationship was some years ago, when he was 28 and the girl had just turned 17. They had a thing for months and he was talking how they were so compatible in bed, wanted the same things, etc. Honestly, it is making my skin crawl just thinking about touching this guy ever again. While in my country the age of consent is 16 years old, you can't drive, drink or vote until you're 18. So a 17-year-old is not an adult in my eyes. I am now trying to find a way to tell him I don't want to talk with him anymore. I don't even want to see him ever again. As someone who was manipulated and used by an older guy when I was 17, I worry this girl was put through the same stuff as I was. Don't have anyone I could say this to, so just wrote it here to get it off my chest. Best friend told ex-husband why I had left. For over 10 years, I had kept to myself the real reason why I had left my previous marriage. I had provided other excuses such as not getting along and he wasn't there for me. I had felt if I told my real reason, my family and friends would think of me as being selfish or crazy. About 4 weeks ago, my best friend and I had taken a trip to the States to have some relaxing fun vacation and we haven't really went out together due to all the other stuff happening in the world. One of the nights, we were talking about our current husbands and she said that she was still confused how I had left my ex-husband cause I'm not the type of leave someone if we don't get along. All the years of hiding this secret, I had blurred it out and I told her the real reason. I normally do my routine pap smear and after I had gotten married, one of my pap smear results had came back abnormal. I had to do more investigations cause my doctor got worried it might be cancerous. My doctor talked about HPV and the only new sexual partner I had was my ex-husband. I had to wait 6 months for next appointment with oncology team. In those 6 months, I had completely stopped being intimate with my ex-husband cause I had felt it was him who caused this change in me. When that checkup came up and I did more tests including another pap smear, all results returned back normal including the repeat pap smear. I was so happy. However, I made up my mind my ex-husband caused me to almost have cancer. My doctor said it's possibility but she said there is no way to test for HPV accurately. I had brought up my thoughts with my father who is a doctor once and he said I was being irrational. I had waited for a couple months and I had filed for divorce. I had made my mind that I was not going to risk myself contracting cervical cancer or any type of other cancers you can get from HPV. My ex-husband and I grew apart and with us having no intimacy, he wasn't as shocked from the divorce. My best friend was shocked but she had acted like she understand. After we had returned from the trip and why do I got a random message after couple weeks saying are you telling people you had left me cause I gave you HPV? I had asked who is this and it was my ex-husband. He had found out through mutual friends who heard from my best friend my reason why I had left. I have not responded and I feel so humiliated to even face anyone. My current husband is visiting his family back home and I'm so afraid if he hears this. I don't know what to do. My wife routinely extends her trips by days after she's left. It was going to be 3 days, now it's going to be 7. I can't rely on her word, and her entire family change plans on people without caring about how it affects us at all. My wife commonly extends her stay and changes plans when she visits her family and I'm tired of it. It was going to be 3 days and now it's 7 days. Informed me after they all talked it out together. She comes from a family that everyone around whispers about how unreliable they are. I call it selfish. They'll cancel a plan on you even after you boarded your flight. She doesn't think she's like them, but she is. It makes me anxious. It makes me angry. It makes me feel lonely. I hate it. And it makes me hate her in this way. The worst part is that when I told her it upset me she was totally unaware of why that would make me upset. Like I have to teach an adult to have basic consideration skills. Asked out a woman and she looked horrified while rejecting me. I've had confidence issues due to being really overweight and I've had weight issues where I would bounce between skinny and fat over a few months. I finally got it under control where I'm a healthy weight, bigger than I'd like but not anorexic anymore, which is good. I went and got my long straggly bad hair cut short, shorter than I'd like but hey ho. I don't know this woman, but I've seen her in the same places I'd go. I've made a few jokes here and there she's laughed at when we'd talk briefly. This morning I went up to her, smiled, and just asked for her number, thinking that yeah worst that happens is she says no, been rejected a million times before, no big deal. But her reaction. Her eyes widen, she put like her left hand up to like block herself almost, she was acting like I was gonna explode and attack her. When I simply said yeah all good, just thought I'd ask with a smile she immediately exhaled and got more relaxed and I just walked away. I know I'm ugly, but that reaction just. It's like I'm this evil hideous monster, like Frankenstein walking up to a villager for the first time. I've been insulted while rejected before and it's whatever. But this was honestly like she was afraid. Just destroyed my self-confidence all over again. I found my husband's Reddit account, and I wish I hadn't. Last night my husband 26M gave me 25F his phone to put my order into since we were getting Chinese. I know his password and we each have free access to the other's phone, but I never really checked his phone. While I was putting my order in, a message from someone on Reddit came up, and I thought I was going to have a panic attack. I knew my husband used Reddit, but I didn't know what he was doing on Reddit. I clicked on the message and saw the back and forth between him and this other woman. The messages were intimate as he was asking her for more photos, if you get what I mean. I looked further and saw my husband was in numerous NSFW groups dedicated to other women's spicy pictures. The woman whose message came up was not the only woman he had been messaging as well. Upon further inspection of his Reddit account, I found his posts in marriage groups where he is lying about our relationship and our child. He made one post talking about how I don't let him talk to his female best friend who is like a sister, but my husband does not have a female best friend that I have ever known about. My husband also lies about our 4-year-old daughter, stating that she often disrespects him and clearly favors her other parent over him. Our daughter is the sweetest little bean whose disrespect is usually just saying duh after a sentence, which she learned from him. I am currently 8 months pregnant with our second child and I feel numb. I don't know how I could have missed my husband messaging multiple women behind my back for who knows how long. I showed him what I found after he asked if I had decided what I wanted and was met with a deer in the headlights look. He cried and said he just does things sometimes and doesn't remember doing them. I feel like that is the most ridiculous excuse he could have possibly given, and it's honestly more disrespectful to me that he thinks I'm dumb enough to simply think he just doesn't remember. I slept in my daughter's room last night, and he is currently at work. I know there was no physical cheating involved, but I just don't feel like I can ever truly trust him again. If he hid this, I can't help but wonder what else he has hidden.